Alrighty, welcome back to the Talking Cleary Podcast. I'm Mitch, this is Flaxxy. Mate, we had a week off. Where have you been?
Mate, we had a bye week, went to New Zealand, man. But the reason we were out last week is because I actually went to a members event for the Penrith Panthers.
How was that?
It was great, man. It was great. There was a few things I do want to talk about it, but, man, overall, I got to speak to players like Paul Alamotti, Blaze Talangi, and, man, they were like...
18th Immortal Blaze.
18th Immortal, man. He had a great game on the weekend, but we'll get to that. Had a really good time. Blaze came up to me. We spoke, talked about his sort of progression throughout the year, which was really good.
Did you tell him I love him?
Mate, first thing I saw was like, hold on. Before you talk to me, I just need to tell you from the bottom of my heart.
Should have FaceTimed me.
Mate, probably should have. I actually got a video with him singing.
Yeah, I saw it.
Mate, it was great. So...
Hopefully he has a bit better voice than you.
Mate, way better voice than me. He wanted me to sing. I was like, no. Mate, can't do that. But, overall, had a wonderful time. The boys were really cool. I do have a bit of feedback on it. Probably not the best thing to schedule. So let's start off with this. I'm a Panthers member. I pay for an ultimate membership, which is quite pricey.
You got a jacket with it?
I got a jacket with it. Like, it's a pretty cool puffer jacket. It kept me warm in New Zealand. But, I'm not the only one, but we pay for this ultimate membership, and it's quite a bit of pricey, and we get a good amount of perks with it. Unfortunately, this year, the perks that we got last year this year doesn't compare to last year.
It's more a timing thing, though, right?
It's more of a timing thing.
From what you sort of, when we discussed this off air, like you were more saying around, it's on a bye week. It's obviously, it's on a week where the Origin players are out. And also the players are on the way to New Zealand. So there was a few guys weren't there and a few different things along those. So not necessarily the whole first grade squad was there.
No. So what a perk we get with our membership is that we get up and close and personal or meet and greet, a kind of night out with the
That'll
boys.
Get you excited.
Mate, trust me, it gets the third
Your
leg very excited. But we get a night out with the boys, and it's supposed to be something that is very unique. We get to, get more personal with them. It's more than just, high wave, take a photo. It's more of a personal thing. And last year was really good. We got to see Bizza, Dylan Edwards. We got to see some of the main first grade players, and the value was there. This year, unfortunately, it includes your top 30 players, which obviously means there's going to be some players that are from Reggie's and a bit lower. But the value of it should be you get to see some of your main players like Bizza, like Paul Alamotti. Pretty much what happened this year, we didn't get that. They scheduled it later in the season compared to last year on a week where was State of Origin, and they know that we have 5 or so players every year play for State of Origin. They didn't also do that. They scheduled another meet and greet for everyone, which wouldn't have been a problem had they given the people that pay for a value price of a meet and greet. It wouldn't have been an issue if they sent more A-grade players to us. So I don't have an issue. It was a great night. I had a wonderful night, and I got to speak again with players like Blaze. I got up and close and personal with Moses Leota and other boys, but I just think it should have been scheduled better. And overall, I had a great night. Great experience, but for next time it could be a bit better. That's pretty much, I don't want to rant on it because this was a great experience and I did have a good time overall, but just to improve the experience for next time, I think it definitely needed some feedback. So.
All right, cool. All good. Rant over. Flaxxy's had his 2 minutes to blow up, but we'll get on to the Origin. We haven't reviewed it as we discussed. We missed last week's episode, which we do film on a Monday night. That event was on a Monday night. Obviously, this is our first episode since Origin. So we're going to just review, I guess, how our Panthers players went in the game, how they performed, and different things. So for me, I feel like Nathan was busted. I think...
He definitely wasn't 100% at all.
He was injured. So you could tell with him not kicking early in the game, him not goal kicking, different things, he was hobbling around. His first half was definitely hampered. I will say I do think he really went after it in that second half and was running the ball. I also think if Stefano, the clown, decided to run through the line as opposed to putting his car in reverse. Nathan scores that try, we probably go on and win by 20 or 30, and the narrative is Nathan's dominated Origin on one leg. So they're the moments in games, I think, that can go either way, and unfortunately I just think he was injured on the night. Yowie, why is he only playing 56 minutes? Like, Loz...
As a captain as well.
I think you kind of had the blueprint from game one. Like, he's got to play 70 minutes. He's the Golden Boot winner. He's the best player in the world. Like, I think as your captain, you leave him out there and you let him sort of lead the team around. I was confused as to why he didn't play that many minutes. Mardo, I think he's a dog. Like, he had a crack again. Like, he's really leading that defensive effort, and once again, as we touched on with game one, like, stats don't tell the picture with Mardo. Like, he really led that mentality. Dylan and Bizarre, like, Dylan was great again. I don't think he probably didn't have the game he had in game one, but he was really good. Bizarre, I thought, was the best player on the field.
Absolutely.
I think he probably should have got man of the match in a losing team, and I understand why they gave it to Munster. Like, he was great. But Bizarre, like, 3 tries, ran for 250 metres. He ran for more than the Queensland back three, like 60 more metres than the Queensland back three by himself. And he was outstanding. I think he really led the way. The one player I do want to touch on, who I actually think probably should have got man of the match from a Queensland point of view, is Kurt Capewell, an ex-Panther. He was outstanding. Did you see the shot he put off on Payne Haas?
Mate, he was an absolute weapon. I love seeing ex-Panthers players, like, absolutely excel. And, man, I still wish we had him at Penrith. But, yeah, he absolutely killed him.
Yeah, he played really well. And, he didn't play game one and earned his spot back. But, yeah, did you have anything to add on the Panthers players in Origin?
Mate, that's 2 from Bizarre. Absolutely weapon. Got, I think, most meters with 70 minutes last game in game one, and absolutely teared it up in game 2 with multiple tries. As you said, I do think Nathan did have a hamper, and I'm sort of glad that he didn't play in New Zealand and that he didn't back up. I don't think they were going to anyway, but yeah, it's definitely a sort of it's a nervous thing seeing him get injured this time. And I know it's not Origin based, but seeing him not being able to perform in Origin means we got big games coming up in the lead. We got Bulldogs next week. Is this going to affect our season? I'm sure we're going to talk on it. But you're right. Yo should have had more minutes. I'm happy with all the boys playing. Even Critter scored a try, ex-Panthers player.
Jerome had a hand in a few tries as well. He had a bit of a shaky start, but he played well in the second half.
Do you reckon he was nervous coming in? Like, I know he puts on this facade, like, that he's going to be...
I think everyone is. Like, I think you'd be a liar, and you're probably also... like, not human if you're going into a game like that where you're not having some nerves. But I also think as well, like, that first kick, that's... Although he has been doing it in club level, when he's in that system, when he's playing with Nathan, like, he's not necessarily doing those kicks, and more so Nathan's leading the charge there. So yeah. I think it was probably just a little bit, just threw him out with the injury. But yeah, a few like early game jitters, but I think he was really good in late in the game. Yeah,
absolutely. And overall, look, as a team, as the Blues side, I think there was a lot of stuff I can say about the first half and, about the refereeing and that. But overall, we were disciplined. The boys just didn't play their part.
I don't understand how a penalty count in 45 minutes can be 9-0. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you want to call 9 penalties, I think you're blowing the pee out of the whistle. But to call 9 penalties against one team is ridiculous. And I also do not think Ashley Klein is in the top couple of referees. I've heard
do you want to know who's reffing game 3?
Yeah, Ashley Klein. I heard it. But there needs to be... I heard the Levels boys talk about it, so shout out to the Levels boys. But they had a hashtag going, free the G. Adam G should be refereeing game 3, in my opinion.
I agree. And ever since the 2023 grand final, the best refed grand final and game in a long time that I can recall, Adam G set a benchmark. And I think the only reason he did get the game in 23 is because Ashley Klein messed up a few weeks prior and actually paved the way for him. And I don't think they like that. But
like, with 30 years experience in the role, like, I've never been a referee. But to control the game the way he did, like, let the players settle it out. And I think in the second half, when he let the game flow, I think he blew 4 penalties in the second half, 2 each way. like New South Wales scored 4 tries or whatever. Like, let the boys sort it out themselves.
So what was it? It was 8 penalties to 0. Now, I know we were ill-disciplined. We were ill-disciplined, but we went 8 penalties to 0.
As I said, if you're going to blow the pee out of the whistle, you can't just blow 9 to one team.
But while it was 8-0 in the first half, they scored 26-6. In the second half, it was 2 penalties each way. We won 18-0.
Is there an echo? Didn't I just say that?
But like just as a simplicity.
That's exactly what I
in
just
a simplicity way. But yeah, if you guys go on my social media, I absolutely blew up. I was not happy about it. But what are you going to do?
That's not like you.
No, not at all. Mate, I'm the calmest person. I'm relaxed. Especially off holiday, man.
It'd be a nice change.
Yeah, just wait till who's reffing our game?
Probably Klein.
Probably Klein. But yeah.
You good with that?
Yeah, I just hope that game 3 is reffed evenly, and
I think it will be. It'll be a blowout.
Because for all the Queenslanders out there, just quietly, if that game was exactly the same way reffed, but it was the exact same, but the colours were reversed, that would be blowing up. So don't say, oh, no penalty count has to be even, no game it can't be one-sided. Look, we all know that it was reffed poorly. He's been poorly refereeing games for a long time. So, look, yeah, I'm. Before I go into any more, I'm just going to pass it on to you because I can see myself riling myself up. So,
chill. You want a tic tac or something?
No,
calm down, mate.
Have a Kit Kat. Take a break.
Absolutely. Anyway, we'll get to the riff report. Some fun stuff. Hey,
no.
Let's talk about
New Zealand game.
Let's talk about another dub. So,
surprise and delight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, going into the game, I don't know what the odds were or anything. I never looked
$4.
at it. $4.
We were paying $4.
Yeah, massive outsiders going into the game. The Warriors have been playing really well, as we've touched on. Like we've discussed.
You've been glazing them, bro.
Yeah, I have been. How well they've been playing, and just shows that you go up against a winning team. What happens? What happens when you go up against the 4-time champs? So people writing the Warriors off now, I think, is silly. Like people because they lost to us. Like I think we sort of showed Ivan kind of big boyed Webster a little bit.
Yeah.
Sort of showed what he can do as a coach, and continues to do. He continues to stand out. But yeah, I think a huge win against all odds. I think some really key players like Milky was great. Casey had an absolute blinder. Like that try he set up for Milky with that in and away was outstanding. I love the way he was going at another ex-Panther, Dallin, as well, who was going at him.
100%.
Which was cool, which was good to watch early in the game. And unfortunately, he got injured, but it was great to watch that little bit of a battle.
Sorensen, bro.
Yeah, unbelievable. Dane Laurie was great. Blaze Talangi, the 18th Immortal. I love that kid. He had an absolute blinder. Sorrow, once again, like we touched on this week on week, but since he's come back on that left edge, he's really shored up that side, and obviously the NRL will need the Dogs to keep winning because they keep getting crowds, so they've had to suspend him for no reason. Absolute chaos.
I wish Fred was here when you said that.
I'll say it to him later. Literally, if Jacob Preston does that, he would have got off. He wouldn't have even got a penalty. It was ridiculous. Somebody stop them. Somebody free Sorrow. Free
Sorrow, mate. I hope we fight it. Did we choose to fight it? I didn't see anything.
No,
well, he didn't fart. So he's out for 2
weeks. But as I said, if you had a Bulldogs jersey on, it wouldn't have even been a penalty. Yeah. He just is kind of like the big brother on that left edge, or maybe even dad with the kids. He's got Casey, Blaze, and Milky on that left edge, and he's really shored up that side. He just wanted it more. Like 2 tries, like that try where he jumped up over whoever it was, Elisima, I think.
Yeah.
Jumped up over him, caught the ball, and fought to the ground. Like normally when they jump up, they just get caught. Like they just get grabbed, and then it's last tackle. He just wanted it more. He just wanted to score, and that's just showing his experience and showing what he's done over a long period of time. And he's an absolute superstar. I also think Lindsay Smith had a blinder. He played that yowie role through the middle, and he carved up. And then watching the Bash Brodies go at each other was awesome as well. Mate, Moses was great.
That first hit up off the kickoff, he was looking. We kicked off to them, right? Because Fisher Harris looked for him and ran straight to him. And when you saw just the intensity of that first tackle, you knew it was on. And mate, I love him. I still wish we had Fisher Harris. And but yeah, it was such a great game. And you're right, the intensity was just there. Like the thing with when we have our Origin players, and I think they mentioned this, is that those boys get the light. Like, they get the light, they get the spotlight, they get the praise, they get everything. But stuff like this, Sorensen's been doing for 4 years.
Agree.
These boys have been doing it for years. But now that we have lost a few of those star players, and in a game like this, which was important for us, you get to see what they're actually made of. And it's so great that they're getting their props now. Like, they should have been getting their props years ago. But yeah, it's definitely a thing that we had intensity on. And I'm so glad that the boys, even though we were missing 5 players, they're like, you know what? We're going to actually show everyone that we don't need them. We know. We love them. We love these boys, but we don't need them to be great. What?
Jeez, that's a rare take. I don't know. But that isn't.
No, because that's what was said in the interview. It was said that we proved that we don't have to have these boys to be great still. It wasn't like a dig on them. It wasn't a dig on them, but it was like, you know.
Yeah, I don't think you've worded that very well.
No, that's genuine. I will bring up the clip.
Essentially, what he's trying to get at is to say it's still the Penrith system. Like, teams are taking our players and have been for a number of years. Like, the Bulldogs basically have just, rinsed and repeat trying to what we're doing, even though they're
copy and paste.
They've got the referees in their back pocket too. But we're but what Flaxxy's getting at there, in a really roundabout way, is the system is still producing and it's working. And we got to see the fruits of that on the weekend.
The next man up mentality.
Isaiah, Dylan, Bizarre, Nathan, yes, we need you still. Please.
Oh, we need them. I'm not saying we don't, but that
you just said that.
I was saying what was said in an interview, but I'll bring it up. That's going to be a clip.
They're your exact words.
That's going to be a clip. I'm telling you right now.
Wow. Mate, wow. Anyway, the Soros suspension's going to hurt us. Obviously, Garns will move in on that left edge, you'd assume.
Yeah, I agree. Can we just speak on Garns being allowed to talk to rival clubs? Why are we letting him go?
No idea.
He has been one of the best defensive on our edges defensively, and where Sorensen would be there, Garner's going to be there, but I don't understand why we're letting him go.
Well, I don't understand why we're letting him go, but I can understand why he potentially wants to speak to rival clubs, because if he wants to be a starting player, we've got Marto, Sorensen, IPAP even, but he's been playing through the middle, but IPAP, and then we've got an abundance of centres too, like Casey and Tago, and then you got Alamotti still probably being reserve grade this week. So,
but I think Sorensen, as much as it is a big loss, we got the Dogs, a bye, and then the Eels. Liam Martin's just going to slot in where he was, so it's going to be. I think we're going to have Papali'i.
You do realise Martin plays right side and Sorry plays left.
Well, we're going to have those boys there regardless. Mate, you're
on fire.
Mate, you're killing me this Monday, I tell you. But we're going to have the boys back, which will slot into his spot. He will. It's not like we're going to have a key player. Obviously, a key player missing, but it's not going to be as big of a hole as what we thought it could be. But yeah, it is going to suck that we do lose him for 2 games. And I didn't even think what he did was that bad, to be honest. I didn't think the hip drop was...
Yeah, they're the rules. As I said, if he was wearing a Bulldogs jersey, he wouldn't have even...
I think the hip drop on the Tigers game that people were complaining about
was probably worse. Yeah, I agree. Was there anyone from the Warriors you were impressed with?
Metcalf, man. He is going to be a future player, one of the future greats of this game. Yeah.
He's not that young. He's 26.
But he's still got a long way. He's hitting his prime now.
Yeah, I think. I'm a big fan of the Met go, but I wouldn't say he's been one of the greats,
mate.
I'd say Blaze
one of the greats, if not one of the greats of the game, one of the greats for the Warriors. He's going to retire at the end of his career a Warrior, and he's going to have the same praise as Sean Johnson. That is my take. It's a hot take. But look at what he's doing, man. Obviously, they didn't have a great game, but he was still keeping them in there and keeping it competitive in that game.
He's busted now. Did his groin.
Yeah. It was a bit upsetting. But, yeah, I think he was a key player. Who do you think was a key player?
I think the edges were really good. So, Laban and Halasima, I think they were really good. They run hard. They're crazy. Imagine trying to defend them guys.
Fisher Harris had a good game.
Yeah, Fish was always going to be good. Harris DeVita and Metcalf, I thought, tried hard.
I feel bad for Dallin. Got injured in the first. Mate,
yeah, Dallin getting hurt was
obviously
a bit of a shame.
Obviously, we scored off that try, but I just want to give props to Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. being at the game, you could see like what the camera didn't pick up, and he was injured, but he ran to try to defend that, and he was hobbling, like he looked in so much pain. So shout out to him, because some players, they get injured, they're just down on the ground. I thought they were going to stop play when they started to get to where he was injured, but he got back up and he hopped on one foot to try to stop that.
Yeah,
and
you got to respect that.
You got to respect that.
You can tell he's an ex-Panther.
Yeah.
Another ex-Panther I thought was great, who he's had a good year, I thought, and he had a good year last year, is Wade Egan.
Yeah.
So one thing, like the main criticism he probably copped when he was at Penrith is he couldn't tackle. He would have. I reckon he topped. I haven't actually looked at it, but I reckon he topped the tackle count. We just ran at him all day, and he aimed up. He did well. He also ran the ball so many times. Like he would have had 14 or 15 runs, I reckon. Like he really tried his guts out, and like as I said, next Panther don't obviously.
Obviously, it comes from a great system. You're going to be a great player. Like what can I say? So yeah, no, he played really well. Mitch Kenny actually topped the tackle count.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so he actually.
That MK.
So
my guy.
Yeah, no, he had a good game as well. So shout out to him. But overall, very happy with the win.
How good was Blaze,
mate? Every week
talking about
we
him.
keep
Blaze is my boy.
We keep glazing that man, but he deserves every bit of it. Like he is only getting better and better. And I got to speak to him on Monday, and I just asked like how he thought he was progressing, and he was like, I'm just loving. He's soaking it up. He's soaking up the atmosphere, learning everything he can off Nath. And when you're learning off one of the best players to play the game, the best players to play the game, obviously, you're going to learn a thing or two. So, yeah, he's happy with his progress. He's happy. He seems really happy with the club and the play, like just the atmosphere. And he feels really comfortable. And the more he gets comfortable, just the better he's going to get. So I'm so happy with him, man. I'm so
absolutely. I think I probably jumped the gun a little bit, but I sent a few messages out when he scored that try. I was like, 3 years' time, that kid's going to be the best player in the world.
Mate, I kept saying it. You keep hitting Fred with it. 2 years, he's going to 18th go. Mate,
18th immortal.
I just hope he gets player of the match next week. Just because, mate, the talk between you and Fred is going to be insane.
All good. Well, wait, we touched on it, but you obviously went to New Zealand. Can you give us a bit of a summary of the trip? Like, what did you do outside of the footy? What sort of things did you get up to? Did you do anything engaging with the players? Did you engage with any other Penrith fans while you were there? And
so outside of the actual game and the game day itself, I went to like Sky Tower. I stayed in Auckland pretty much for all of it. Beautiful city, man. It feels like Sydney, but it's just
quieter.
Very quiet. And I love that about a city. I like when everything's not too busy and you don't know what's going on. The city's beautiful. People, oh my God, the people are so nice.
Yeah, I agree.
They every time, you talk to them, they cared about you. They just wanted to have a conversation. You felt the respect and you didn't even feel like you deserved it because that's how nice people were. I visited the All Black experience.
How good's that? I've done that as well.
Fucking awesome. Amazing, man. Oh my God. Like the facility.
How good is it when you stand there in front of the haka, in front of the
Bro,
Silver
and
Ferns and the All Blacks?
It's just like hitting you with a bass and go boom.
When you walk out of the tunnel, it's
Bro,
really awesome.
I loved it. And, I had a full like I didn't realize there was going to be the sound and the bass and just the intensity of it. And you're just in it and it's like the first step and you're like, oh shit.
It's so good.
And you said, man, I loved it. If you ever go visit New Zealand, go check out the All Black experience. It was one of my favorite parts of the trip. I was only there for 3 days, obviously, but
I've done that as well. And I do very much vouch for that. It's awesome.
It is a great experience. And so, yeah, and shout out to the tour guide. I can't remember your name, but you were absolutely amazing. So, yeah, did that. I did the weather workshop, which was upstairs as well. I love movies and I wanted to do acting when I was younger. So I've always had this creativity about me.
Is that why you got so much carry on?
Mate, probably.
Did they let you on the flight with that much carry on?
Oh, you're hilarious, aren't you, mate? He's got all the jokes today. But yeah, no, I absolutely loved it, man. Just seeing sort of the production side of things. I've always been an on-camera, charismatic, dramatic, that type of guy.
I don't know about charismatic. I'd definitely say dramatic.
Fuck. Damn. That fucking hurt. But just seeing the production side of things and the more sort of what goes into creating prosthetics and all that stuff. It was really great. And then
Sick.
going on to game day, New Zealand have the best game day experience.
Awesome.
The best. Like, no club that I've ever I've gone to a lot of stadiums and home teams, and no game day experiences ever matched up to what New Zealand's did. I got to create a sign. It's over there. You know, they had like these sign making things. They had.
Is that where you did that?
Yes, I did it at the ground. Like they full have a sign making place where at the stadium.
I thought you did arts and crafts at home before.
No, I didn't know I was going to get arts and crafty. I was walking to my seat and I go, "Oh, do you want to make a sign?" I was like, "Yes, I want to make a sign." And spent 10 minutes perfecting my arts and crafts. I loved it. There was a photo thing we did. There was just the people as well. As I said, I cannot say this enough. The New Zealand people, the crowd, everyone, it was all banter and vibes. That's all they cared about. They didn't care about, obviously you care about the game and the winning and whatnot, but everyone was having a laugh. It was all jokes flying, and, they made you feel like you were welcome. And it's, you've gone to some stadiums and some home teams, and, the Bulldogs being one of those teams where you just don't feel safe and you don't feel...
You only feel safe if you're a ref.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Mind you, we have a Bulldogs fan out here, by the way. But yeah, you go to some stadiums and you don't enjoy the game day experience. I loved it. I will always go back to New Zealand whenever we play them, because I had a great time, and thanks to the people, the stadium, everything was great about it. So, yeah, and then we got the win, which was even better. So it made the trip just a full circle moment.
Unreal, mate. How good. We've sort of touched on this a little bit. We're just going to touch on a few of the ex-Panthers in the league and kind of how they're going. So we obviously touched on the Warriors guys. From the first game, Luai backed up against the Raiders. I actually think...
That was one of his better games.
I think Luai is getting better and better every week. And I think, in a year or two's time, we're going to even see him just really develop as that number 7 and that key playmaker. He looked really good, especially when the young bloke Fainu was on the field in the back half of the game. I think he had a really good game. They just don't have the finishing touches at the moment, the class to sort of finish off games. I think it's the they just don't know how to win a game. Yeah. They don't know how to keep a lead because that victim mentality we spoke about.
Exactly, mate.
It's always someone else's fault.
Exactly. But it's true, though. They haven't been able to hold on to leads, and they just don't know how to win a game. And it takes more than, unfortunately, just bringing in players that know how to win to then change the system. And I think it's more of a deep-rooted issue with the West Tigers, as you said, the victim mentality. But I think the fact that Lockie Galvin is now out and gone, he's now taken full advantage of the keys, and he's driving the Ferrari now. He's not just driving the Yaris behind the Ferrari going 10 kilometers an hour. He's just been able to take control of that. Mate, allow me to have my analogies, please. But Luai's been able to take the keys, and, you've just, as you said, you'll see him be able to evolve his game more now that he can take the role of the lead.
Yeah. How do you think Taruva went?
Taruva, I didn't watch too much of the game, so I didn't know. I don't. How do you reckon he went? I didn't really watch too much of it.
Yeah, he was fine. Nothing major. He would have scored a try if Stafford Toa passed to him. Toa scored himself.
Speaking of Stafford Toa, is just elite, by the way.
He's playing good. Yeah, he's playing good now. Hosking was great. Another ex-Panther. He was really good. He topped the tackle count. He did really well. He's been playing. Every time he's fit, he seems to play some really good footy. So he played the full 80. I don't know if he was going to, but Hudson Young got hurt. Yeah. But played the full 80 and played really well, I thought. So moving on. So Dolphins, we got Isaiah Katoa. How good is that kid? So
they're talking about Origin for him.
I think if Nathan's out, you have to.
You reckon you put him?
Yeah, if Nathan's out, I would. He's the form 7 of the comp at the moment, in my opinion. He just seemed like obviously, on the weekend, they just got dusted. But the last month, he's been the form player of the comp. He's absolutely torching it. The way he digs into the line, the shape, and just the way he moves as a 7, as a ball player. I don't think there's anyone else in the league, or definitely not anyone at his age doing that besides Blaze. But
I was waiting for that.
But there's definitely, I don't even think there's another player in the comp that's doing it as well as him at the moment. I think he's awesome to watch, and I think his development, you can really see how Like he was being touted as the Luai development plan a few years ago, and full credit to the Dolphins for seeing that and getting him into throwing big money at him at the time, because I think he's going to be a very rich man. Yeah,
and that's unfortunately the thing about Penrith. You know, when we became so great, we just couldn't afford to hold on to those second fiddle players, where the players behind Cleary and who's going to actually get a spot unless it's Origin period. And he was one of those players that was just too good to not play first grade, but we just couldn't put him in front of the talent we already had. You're right. He's absolutely killing it. Just the way he controls the ball, and his kicking game, the way he can just create plays out of nothing. He's doing big for the Dolphins. I want to ask you this: do you reckon he will stay at the Dolphins long term?
Yeah, I reckon he'll be the richest player in the league. Yeah. I reckon his next contract will be like 1.5 for 3 years, and then I reckon he'll get 2 when the salary cap goes up.
That's insane.
I reckon he'll be the first $2 million player.
Wow.
Yeah.
That behind in front of Blaze or behind Blaze?
We won't be able to afford to pay. we got to pay Nathan, Ivan,
Ivan, Bizza.
Yoey, yeah. No, Blaze will stay because he loves the club. He's loyal.
He's met me now. He can't not stay.
Blaze will stay because he loves winning.
Yes, exactly. So I think he's definitely going to be a building block, Isaiah Katoa, for the Dolphins, and if they can just build around him perfectly, they could win a comp with him in the next few years.
Agree. So he's a freak.
100%.
Speaking of freaks, Isaiah Iongi. Mate, kid is a superstar. So.
I wish we never got rid of him, man.
But where's he going to play? Like, it kind of needed to just let him go flourish. Like, I know they were playing the Titans, and the Titans are, another ex-Panther in RCG. Like, don't get me started on him. But Isaiah Iongi I thought he was an absolute star. It's probably the difference in the game. Like, although AJ played well for them, Isaiah Iongi just had a hand in everything. He's going to be a very, very good player. He seems to be getting better and better every week. And he's really, warming into the role and playing well. And like this week, without two of their front two recognised halves, he just was in total control. Like I thought he was outstanding. But yeah,
no, I agree. With obviously Parramatta rebuilding, he's rebuilding with the club, and that is again another play they're going to build around him. And shout out to Jason Riles, because they were going between him and I think Joash at one point.
Well, he played 6.
But like Joe, he was really good.
Footy Dean killed it.
Yes, yeah, but like at the time they were thinking, do we go Isaiah Iongi as our starter, or do we go?
I think Iongi always.
He was always going to have it, but it is just great to see that. It's great to see that he's developing, and it hurts. It hurts when you see a player
only at Para. If he was at the Dolphins, I'd be so happy. Like he's just because he's a para.
Imagine if he ended up at the Dogs. They're gonna get rid of like Connor Tracy and then bring in another player.
Probably. How much money they got?
I don't know. They've just signed another player from the Dragons.
Yeah,
so.
They've signed another couple of refs in their back pocket too, I reckon. But anyway, speaking of the Dogs, let's get to the game.
Mate, let's get to the game. The game of the round. This is going to be...
It is going to be an absolute cracker, especially us winning last week has really set this up as a big game.
It's literally depressing that it's on a Thursday night. Like, it doesn't deserve a Thursday night.
I think it's fine. Like, the thing... the only thing that's a little bit iffy about it is the fact that Nathan only gets to Thursday to get his leg right. But if it's not right by then, after a week off, like 8 days off, like it's probably not going to be right. So... Yeah. Hopefully he's sweet to go. It gives him enough time it gives him almost 2 weeks to recover before then the next Origin game anyway. So that's a very positive sign. I think in terms of the game, like we obviously outlined that if we could get one of those games between the Warriors and the Bulldogs, we then have the bye. Then we have no games easy in the NRL, but we have a little bit of a softer draw for those next 4 or 5 weeks.
I think it's
No, we've got Para,
Eels,
Knights, Dragons, Titans, and someone else. So, like, it's a little bit of a softer draw, which hopefully we can build on the momentum off the back of Origin and really build into a finals run where no one from Canterbury wants to see us in September.
No one in general wants to see us.
No one in general wants to see us in September. So, I think this game, it's just cream. If we can jag this one. It's going to really propel us up into the 8. And, the Dogs can't beat a team in the 8. So I think we're every chance.
Mate, we're going to, as you said, they can't beat a team in the 8, but this is a bigger game for us now because it's now we've locked ourselves in the 8. We got into the 8. And
we haven't locked ourselves. We're in.
Well, no, like mentally,
we're coming 8th.
Yeah, but mentally, we've locked ourselves because the Dolphins lost. That allowed us to keep ourselves in the 8. Now the mentality for the team should be: now that we're here, let's stay here. Obviously, it was based off results of this week and last week, but I think
we win this week and we got to buy. So that's
4 points. It's a 4-point game for us,
and then as I said, we've got that little bit of a softer draw to build into. So, really positive signs. I don't think I've cheered as hard on the weekend as I have then probably since the grand final. So
I was going to say, you're actually going to go to the game this time?
I get too nervous.
You get too nervous.
I can't. I got to watch it. I got to watch it in the warm. I might actually Thursday night.
Big game, man.
Yeah, I might actually head out there.
Nah, it's going to be a good one. I'm super excited. As I said, I wish it just wasn't on the Thursday night because this type of game could sell out a crowd. It should sell out a crowd. But yeah, I think if the boy is going to be on, you're going to have players that have had 8 days off, which is longer than they've had in a long time. Bizza should be back to his full strength. He'll be good.
You're a doctor.
Mate, they're going to be... It just makes perfect sense. The more rest they have, the healthier they're going to be.
All right, what's your predictions for the game?
Mate, I think Panthers win. I don't think it's going to be a 13-plus affair. I think it's going to be a close one. I think we win by 10. I think it could be 26-16. I think is going to be a score for Penrith. I don't think it's going to be super, super high scoring, but I do think a lot of points will be on the board. I think we'll crack through Bulldogs. And every time Bulldogs have lost the game, they've lost by a good margin. So, a good amount of points scored.
Who's your man of the match?
Man of the match. I know Biz is going to have a good game because... is he going to be on Stephen Crichton's wing or edge? No? I still think he'll have a good game. I think Bizarre is going to be a key here. Obviously, our middles are going to be big, especially with Sorensen out. But I'm going to give it to Bizarre. He had an absolutely blinder.
Who's your first try scorer?
Bizarre.
Okay.
I'm going Bizarre all the way, man. I love that. Mauso, man. I love him, man. I love him.
Yeah, cool. I'll go. I'm going to say Cleary field goal if he plays.
What do you reckon happens if we don't play him? Let's go with this scenario. What do you think happens if Nathan Cleary doesn't play on Thursday?
I think we beat him by 10.
Beat him by 10? What do you reckon the lineup looks like?
What do you mean? Snyder will just play 7. It'll be the same as last week. Snyder will just play 7 and everyone else will slot back in.
Yeah, and then what is your prediction with him playing?
With him playing, I think we win by 7. I think it will be up by 6. He'll kick a field goal to ice it.
So you think we win? You think we win by?
I was more taking the.
Well, hey, we beat the Warriors.
I'll say we win by 6 without him. We win by 6 with him. 7 with him.
Yeah,
and I'll say first try scorer Milky.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good, especially.
How's Stephen Crichton going to tackle Casey? No one can lay a hand on that bloke.
Oh, mate. The rage bait is absolutely insane.
Sweet.
But yeah, I honestly think it's going to be a good game. Man, I just hope we bring the same intensity, and I hope the boys bring the same intensity. Yeah, and then we just take down bottom 4 teams at a time. We got the Storm guys. Coming up soon.
Your ultimate members fired up,
mate.
Anyway, we done?
Are we done? You got any last things to say?
I'm done. I'm good.
You're done. You're good, mate. Up the riff.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
And mate, thank you so much for supporting us. I just got to say, now that we've got a name, we'll start, posting on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and yeah, it's going to be good. And next week's just going to be even better when we come in and go, how good was the win?
Feels good. Thanks,
guys.